Chapter 310, 213 Palm Thunder Skill, 4K for monthly tickets and subscriptions. I understand. Chenju placed his palms together and closed his eyes, saying, Bodhi in the teachings of Buddhism represents enlightenment and wisdom. To practice this method, one must achieve a state where the heart is like a bright mirror platform, and then feel the chi mechanism that the body inadvertently emits, trying to use the will of martial arts to attract the chi mechanism. It might be hard to succeed at first, just keep trying. Once you can move the chi mechanism, gradually channel it to the mud pill palace in the brain, gathering it at one point. If in the long run, you can make all chi mechanism instantly return from the body to that one point in the mud pill palace with a single thought, then you've reached the beginner level of this secret technique. The first layer is simply repeating this process, allowing the chi mechanism to solidify continuously, eventually forming an illusory bodhi seed in the mind. That will be the dwelling place for your hidden chi mechanism. Remember, the reason we pick up the chi of others, the chi of void things, is because different chi mechanisms will attract each other like magnets upon encountering, tangling up and creating a mess that cannot be cut or untangled. If we can always conceal our chi mechanism, preventing it from attracting other types, then there would be no issue of contamination, which is the theoretical basis of the Bodhi technique. Ultimately, it still revolves around those 4 lines of scripture. Listening to his mentor's explanation, Lu Chenju seemed to have an epiphany. Bodhi is not a tree, bright mirror is not a platform. It is indeed worthy of being a true skill secret method, truly profound and extensive. Following this, he spent an extra hour every day practicing the Bodhi technique with Chenju, managing to save some time from his boxing practice due to inspiration. He would not alter the time spent on pile skill and internal strength practice. These two relate to realm and cultivation. 7 days later, April 23rd. After completing the pile skill of the 34th orifice, Lu Chenju tried the Bodhi technique secret method again. In this period of practice, he had become able to clearly sense his own chi mechanism, but he always failed in the step of drawing it into his mind, converging it to a point. Lu Chenju closed his eyes tightly, his palms joined together. He emptied his mind, imagining his spirit as a bright mirror platform, translucent and clear, where any stray thought that landed on the spirit would be reflected away like light on a mirror, maintaining purity. Body, spirit, heart, chi mechanism. Lu Chenju pondered these human elements as his muscles undulated like dominoes, creating waves that rippled outward. At the same time, he held his breath and concentrated, sensing once more the invisible radiating power that merged seamlessly with the body. This energy, unique to each individual like a fingerprint, was the chi mechanism, or breath, a unique identifier. Some top-level powerhouses do not need to see their enemies, they just need to sense at a far distance the chi mechanism their bodies naturally release, imprinting the sensation in their hearts so they can recognize them later. Even if you change your appearance, it's useless, because a person's chi mechanism, like the soul, cannot be altered. Hence, if 2 powerhouses have a deep feud, even if one turns to dust, the other can still identify them. This is based on the remnant trace of the chi mechanism. The Bodhi technique is the method to cultivate the chi mechanism. It cannot change the chi mechanism, only hide it. Om. Suddenly, fine beads of sweat formed on Lu Chenju's forehead. In the mud pill palace of his mind, countless chi mechanisms from billions of cells turned into an intangible particle storm, hammering at his spirit. He recited the Bodhi technique, defending his spirit, subduing the chi mechanism. He had failed at this step several times already. Today he must succeed. As time ticked by, the intangible particle storm spun into a vortex, growing smaller and smaller, before finally beginning to converge into a point, as a hum resonated in his mind. It seemed like the next moment, the point was about to explode. Condense. Lu Chenju's martial arts will transformed into a pair of invisible Buddha hands, encompassing the particle storm and soothing its violent power, until at last it turned into a black seed. The seed was bright and transparent, radiating an invisible Buddha essence. Moments later, the invisible Buddha hands dissipated. The black seed floated in the mud pill palace, with the light of the Buddha pervading. Lu Chenju murmured to himself, somewhat helplessly, "Why do I feel like I'm getting closer to Buddhism? It seems that ever since I started practicing the Arhat skill, I've been moving away from the image of Taoism." Lu Chenju was not particularly attached to the ethereal image of Taoism. he was a pragmatist. As long as it was useful and could enhance his own strength, that was enough. With the martial arts tree, his future potential was limitless. Throughout history, all the strongest powerhouses mastered the teachings of the three religions, merging Buddhism and Taoism, and at the supreme realm of martial arts, there was no longer any distinction between schools. Regardless, now that the Bodhi seed is formed, I have reached the beginner level of this secret technique. Every day from now on, I will practice it once for 15 to 30 minutes. My goal is not lofty. I just want to attain the first layer of the minor Bodhi body, and for the rest, I will practice as fate allows. He had limited time, and could not let the secret technique impede more important matters. Lu Chenju looked towards the martial arts tree. Cultivation technique. Bodhi technique, first layer 1%. The Bodhi technique on the side of the martial arts tree is also considered a cultivation technique. That evening, Chenju looked at Lu Chenju with suspicion. Have you really reached the beginner level? Show me how you move the chi mechanism. The Bodhi technique, being a secret technique, is unlike regular martial arts. There is no discussion of quality, but comprehensively speaking, its difficulty in practice is not weaker than middle-grade true skills. After all, this is Buddhist martial arts, and Lu Chenju's Buddhist foundation can only be considered average. To reach the beginner level in 7 days, could it be that this guy is also destined to become a Buddha? Chapter 311, 213 Palm Thunder Skill, 4K for monthly tickets and subscriptions, /2. Lu Chenju demonstrated once again for his teacher, and in Chenju's eyes, chi mechanisms encircling Lu Chenju's body retreated like a tide, vanishing into the boundless void, concealed by the Neon Palace. Moments later, Chenju said, "Good thing you were born in modern times, otherwise if a high-ranking Buddhist monk discovered you, they'd coax you up the mountain, shave your head, and have you ordained, immersing yourself into Buddhism and chanting." Back then, the common saying of skilled Buddhist practitioners was, "My benefactor, I see you have a connection with Buddhism." Lu Chenju smiled and said, "Is reaching the beginner level in 7 days considered fast?" Chenju sighed and said, "Let's put it this way. When Lei Jinggang Mingxin initially entered the martial arts commune, it took him 3 days to reach the beginner level of this technique, and he is a possessor of the dragon-subduing Buddha body. The dragon-subduing Buddha body is a top-level innate talent within Buddhism. It's not inferior to the innate Buddha child of Chuo Tian head monk. As for Chenju himself, it took him half a month to enter the beginner level, and his Buddha wisdom was quite good. Otherwise, Shaolin wouldn't have taken notice and invited him to exchange and study. How strange and curious. How can this Lu Chenju lad be just a little bit better at everything? Does a person who is proficient in all methods truly exist in this world? It's incomprehensible, incomprehensible. In the blink of an eye, time arrived at the end of April. Chenju watched the news. The virtual disaster level in southern border was upgraded to 5th rank, on par with Teu's side. But with the leadership of the Dragon and Tiger Academy, void things couldn't stir much trouble. The deep roots of the Dragon and Tiger Taoist sect span through a large part of De Zia martial arts history. In terms of both the number of grandmasters and the quantity of divine weapons, they were superior to the likes of Tianxia's 9 major powers akin to Dragon City. Even Galaxy Martial University, the foremost among the 9 majors, couldn't compare with the depth of the Taoist heritage. It's just that the Kangshan Dragon King was too bug. His influence alone elevated the power. Ying City Police had already passed the divine child sex information to Lu Chenju. These days, Lu Chenju had also taken the time to study, gaining a basic understanding of some of the cult's common evil skills, preparing to deal with these monsters in the future. He had a feeling that the cultist incense master who was tracking him would not give up so easily. What Lu Chenju could do was to practice the minor Bodhi body, and cleanse the chi mechanism of void things from his body to avoid being tracked unnoticed outside the school. Being new to martial arts, he temporarily dared not confront cultists head-on. Evil skills are peculiar. It's best to overwhelm them with a higher realm. According to Lu Chenju's observations and calculations over the past week, the speed of practicing the Bodhi technique, first layer, and the Tiger Demon Tai Sui technique was about the same, slightly slower. Under the premise of practicing for a quarter of an hour each day, it normally took a year to complete. Before that, he would try not to leave the school. As Chenju said, by not going out one doesn't stir up dust. 2 months of diligent practice, and Lu Chenju opened the 34th acupoint. He was very satisfied with this speed. Next was to maintain and further advance. That day, in the practice room, Lu Chenju's palm unleashed like thunder. The swift chi flow of the thunderclap exploded soundingly, and the invisible force actually left marks on the front wooden stakes. 5 Tiger Palm Thunder Extreme. On the martial arts tree, the 5 Tiger Palm reached perfection in just over half a month, blossoming and bearing fruit. A light purple seed took shape, with tiny characters appearing on it. Divine Seed 5 Tigers surround first rank, hidden in the Shen Hui acupoint. 5 Tigers unite heart, whose strength breaks metal. Effect 1. Tiger Wisdom Level 1, a slight improvement in general martial arts comprehension. Effect 2. Tiger Form Level 1, a slight improvement in tiger form martial arts comprehension. Effect 3. Palmer Thunderclap, when chi and muscles merge and rub, concentrating the body's electrical current to a point and releasing it upon collision, about 300 volts. Lu Chenju frowned, realizing it was not simple. 5 Tiger Palm has a long history, rumored to have originally come from the Taoist palm thunder skill, but because of many transformations, it's become far removed from the palm thunder. I have somehow coincidentally practiced the palm thunder. Interesting. The essence of the palm thunder is to use martial arts will to channel the bioelectric current generated by muscle friction, releasing it instantly upon contact with an enemy. The 5 Tiger Palm follows the same principle, but as a third-rate martial arts, its electric current isn't very powerful. 300 volts sounds intimidating, but in reality it can't even kill an ordinary person. Keep in mind, the electric eel in rainforests can easily release 500 volts, and in extreme conditions, it can approach 800 volts, which only stuns crocodiles at most. Essentially, this special effect is similar to the Fierce Tiger Stance's scorching effect. Because its duration is too short and the electric current is too weak, it's hard to cause substantial damage in the early stages. Both martial arts practices could have such effects thanks to Lu Chenju's martial artist cultivation. If it were an ordinary martial artist, these two effects would be nearly non-existent. Nonetheless, Lu Chenju was still happy, for no other reason than that this effect could be improved. One day, it would come in handy. Some powerful martial artists could also control fire and thunder, but these flames and thunder depend on strong human energy and acupoints, fundamentally different from the evil skills of cultists. Without much hesitation, Lu Chenju integrated it thoroughly. Before long, the fusion was complete. The other effects were still accumulating incrementally towards qualitative change, so there was no need to go into detail. What changed significantly was the 9th power effect of the Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger, the effectiveness of the Palmer Thunder, which leaped from the original 300 volts to 500 volts. Lu Chenju's muscles and bones chimed together, his body hummed with friction, and an invisible pulse of electric current swept through him like a magnetic field, before flowing out from his palms onto an iron pile. Crackle and sparks flew in all directions. 500 volts is still very weak. It could only catch my opponent off guard and slightly paralyze them. The effect is very minimal and needs improvement. This move shall be called Thunderclap Palm. Lu Chenju shook his head. Martial artists' physical qualities were too strong. He felt that at least 1,000 volts were needed to play a considerable role in aiding combat. I'm just 2 first-rank divine seeds away from advancing to 4th rank. Even without the onset of inspiration, it will only take 2 or 3 months of work, and I'll soon possess true skill martial arts. And there's a high probability that it will be perfect level, so I won't need to start from scratch and train hard. Lu Chenju was brimming with expectation. On the martial arts tree, the martial arts category was lacking one complete fist technique. Tiger Roar Fist, beginner 5%. Let's get started. May arrived quietly. The first in the morning. During the fist technique class, the people of the genius class looked towards the spots that used to belong to Wang Hangdao and Lu Chenju. Chen Zio sighed. Chenju hasn't come to practice boxing in a long time. Since Lu Chenju's promotion, their former classmate had become a senior. She wasn't as carefree as before. She even missed the days when she teamed up with Lu Chenju. Now, she wasn't even qualified to undertake missions with Lu Chenju. Leopard Woman, standing in the Fierce Tiger stance, said. It's said that Chenju is indulging in ordinary martial arts, and they are even third-rate. Ziohe was somewhat puzzled. Why would he do that? Shouldn't he be learning true skill boxing? Old Tian said, Chenju probably wants to lay a solid foundation in fist theory first. Yao Cheng said, Wang Hongdao has been in seclusion for a long time too. Who knows if he has succeeded? Zhou Xingkang, practicing his dragon claw finger power, carrying a pot with him, said, We can't fall too far behind either. Among the 8, he was the closest to becoming a martial artist. But to break through, it would likely take until next year. Suddenly, in the Shihu Villa area, thunderous whale song echoed, even audible from the gymnasium. The genius class members changed expressions and then jubilantly said, The second martial artist of the branch school has been born. Wang Hongdao is still strong. Too bad he lost to Chenju. They all knew the benefits of being the first martial artist in the branch school were immense. At Villa number 32, Lu Chenju stood on the balcony looking at Wang Hongdao's residence, seeing a giant whale surging upwards, breaking through the waves, soaring into the clouds, and couldn't help but smile. Brother Wang, you've finally become a martial artist. 7 days later, Wang Hongdao emerged from his retreat, and the first thing he did was to visit Villa number 32 to find Lu Chenju. He showed a sunny smile and got straight to the point. Brother Lu, let's have a match. This time, on Lu Chenju's suggestion, the battle site was set up in the gym's personal martial arts arena designed specifically for martial artists. Each martial arts genius had one, convenient for inviting friends for sparring to avoid any disturbances. Chapter 312, 214.3 Uniques as Master, 4K seeking double monthly tickets. P.S. I'll replace evil sect with sect because the term evil sect could easily trigger the intelligent review system on Kidian. The site was flanked on both sides. The 2 youngest martial artists of the branch school calmly gazed at each other. Wang Hongdao was still using the whale-flipping sea fist. He warmed up on the spot, his movements exuding an ocean's impressive momentum. The invisible force turned into a mountain torrent, rushing towards Lu Chenju from all directions, squeezing him from every angle. Lu Chenju took a step back with his right foot, then a step forward, actively advancing. His figure sliced through the flood of momentum, with the spirit of the mystic tiger coalescing in the void. Both man and tiger charged unstoppable. Roar! The roar of the tiger didn't deter Wang Hongdao's astonishing martial arts will. Seeing the clash of momentum between the two was evenly matched, he immediately swung his fists, as large as sandbags, his muscles inflating like balloons, and white steam filled the air, warping the space around him. Red whale steaming sea. With Wang Hongdao's roar, even before the giant whale fist reached him, the wind from the punch began to billow Lu Chenju's training clothes. Lu Chenju's spirit, essence, and chi concentrated to a single point. His body coiled like a dragon bending a bow, and then he sprung straight, his fist shooting out to meet the whale fist head-on. Boom! Mountains and seas collided. Both forces reached their peak in that moment. It was like igniting explosives. The shockwaves from the physical impact formed a demon wind, sweeping away the dust on the platform. An invisible rising momentum formed a mushroom cloud that soared into the sky. When the martial arts will reaches a certain level, it can interfere with reality, like Lu Feng's externalized aura. A martial artist's momentum might not be enough to shatter the floor or tear through metal, but it could whip up dust. Like the spiritual practitioners of the Po Suo ancient country, who upon stepping onto the path beyond the ordinary, could use their powerful spiritual power to move objects through the air. This power is called telekinesis. After the collision, Lu Chenju took a few steps back. Then, turning into a tiger shadow, he dodged away. White smoke emitted from his body, enveloped by his high-speed movements as if a divine beast was surrounded by auspicious clouds. Wang Hongdao charged forward, sucking in like a long whale taking in water. Then his gaping maw opened, and a fierce exhalation storm actually blew away the fog. Wang Hongdao laughed loudly. I've seen your fight with Yang Qing. That move won't work on me. Brother Wang, you've made some progress. Lu Chenju smiled as he dodged the giant whale fist, closing in and sending Wang Hongdao flying back, then stomping his right foot on the ground. The alloy platform vibrated, and with the reversing shockwave, Lu Chenju dashed out instantly, appearing beside Wang Hongdao, who caught him with his large hand. Tiger whale dominates the sea. At the moment their palms collided, Lu Chenju's body simultaneously resonated with the sounds of boiling water and crackling like electrical discharge, emitting scorching breath and sparks. Bang! Wang Hongdao withdrew his numb hand, and at that moment, Lu Chenju's right arm, like a blade, swept over, its chi cleaving through the void and slashing at the back of Wang Hongdao's neck. Hiss! Wang Hongdao cried out in pain, reaching behind to grab Lu Chenju. Lu Chenju easily dodged, his arms expanding in size, his hot blood casting a red glow. He used the strongest move of Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist, slightly bending forward, his feet thundering on the ground as he advanced, his arms like two huge spears trembling explosively. Wang Hongdao leapt into the air, spinning, whale-flipping clouds. Then, harnessing the force of his descent, he threw the most powerful punch, concentrating all a martial artist's spirit, essence, and chi. 6 years of effort in this fist. Can Brother Lu take it? Boom! A thunderous explosion rang out. Lu Chenju's legs retreated 7 steps, but Wang Hongdao nearly flew out of the ring, his massive figure stabilizing at the edge, his arms leaking fine beads of blood. Splurred, splurred. Countless blood vessels burst, spurting blood from the flesh, Wang Hongdao's face turning pale, his skin mottled with purple. Then after a moment, he opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of stale blood. Wang Hongdao ceased his movements, his face filled with disbelief. You've been practicing true skill boxing. Lu Chenju laughed heartily. Brother Wang, keep up the effort. He turned around, leaving with an air of nonchalance. Wang Hongdao was utterly baffled. One strike had caused internal injuries to the organs protected by his energy membrane, burst the blood vessels in his arms and flesh, and even slightly fractured his whale bones. Was the tiger spirit divine fist really that strong? He didn't know that Lu Chenju's Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist might not have advanced to the 4th rank, but after repeated enhancements, its power had long exceeded the scope of first-class martial arts. With the boost from the Mystic Tiger Spirit, it was not much weaker than a lower-grade true skill. Therefore, Lu Chenju was not in a hurry to learn true skill. Ordinary martial arts were more than enough. May 15th. Congratulations, your chi blood value has reached 11.11 points. Lu Chenju left the chi blood measurement room, muttering to himself. Tiger Demon Tai Sui technique, indeed a middle-grade true skill. It seems I'll have no problem reaching the middle realm in chi blood this year, even without practicing true skill level fist techniques. In the inner realm, the Tai Sui with the head of a tiger and the body of a man grew increasingly large. He appeared like a little giant, grinding a viciously sharp giant blade on a stone slab made of flesh. He looked towards the martial arts tree. Tiger Roar Fist, great success 1%. I'm close to mastering ordinary martial arts. Time to find a few more books at the Myriad Volume Pavilion. Lu Chenju walked briskly toward the Myriad Volume Pavilion. At that moment, Principal Wang happened to leave the library. Lu Chenju greeted him. Good day, Principal. Here to borrow books on ordinary martial arts. Yes. I heard from Li Gui that you're not planning to learn true skill boxing yet. I plan to lay a solid foundation first and establish my boxing realm. That's fine, as long as you know what you are doing. Principal Wang did not interfere with the cultivation of a martial arts genius. These individuals were not foolish, surely all had their unique situations. Each martial arts genius had secrets. What strong person doesn't have their secrets? Principal Wang patted Lu Chenju's shoulder 3 times, saying, Come to my house tonight at 8. Lu Chenju understood, his heart thrilled, and he couldn't help but smile. Chapter 313, 214.3 Uniques Master, 4K for double monthly tickets, /2. All right. What are you laughing at? Do you know what I want to do? No, I just thought of something amusing. You little rascal, off you go. Principal Wang strode away, his demeanor quite pleasant. Within the Myriad Volume Pavilion, Lu Chenju stood in the tiger form area, selecting martial arts. The fierce tiger stance is fire, the 5 tiger palm is thunder. There should be other martial arts within the tiger form that could give rise to some unique abilities. These unique functionalities are weak, but I have the martial arts tree. After strengthening them over and over, one day, they may transform into a great divine power that could scorch mountains and boil seas. In the end, Lu Chenju's gaze settled on 3 third-rate martial arts. Gale Force Tiger Body, Earth Tiger Step, Withered Tiger Fist. The Gale Force Tiger Body, compared to the Mountain Crossing Body, focuses more on leveraging the wind's force, generating wind with one's feet, and moving with the speed of the wind. Like southward flying wild geese, achieving an effect of a light body, Once mastered, the power of the tiger generates wind as if by a deity. The earth tiger step is a more unorthodox kind of creeping ground movement technique that, once mastered, one can move on all fours as swiftly as a tiger or leopard. The withered tiger fist. This cultivation technique originally stemmed from the old triad's third-rate demonic skill, withered heart palm, which was later improved by a tiger-form grandmaster and ultimately became an orthodox cultivation technique. Once this fist technique is mastered, a single punch can soul-rendingly erode bone, incredibly vicious. The introductions in the fist manual often like to boast a little. These mere third-rate martial arts made Lu Chenju feel like he was learning true skills. These three are not bad and do not have much overlap with the tiger form fist I currently possess. Breeding a divine seed shouldn't be a problem, and they might even give rise to unique abilities. This time, Lu Chenju did not seek out Li Gui. He returned home and immersed himself in studying for a period, then mastered the basics of these three fist techniques. Within the practice room, the vigorous wind surged, and the young man, like a tiger, leaped and struck. That night, at 8 o'clock, Lu Chenju calmed his mind and knocked on the door of Villa Number 1. Before long, an auntie came to open the door. "The principal is waiting for you in the practice room." "Thank you." Inside the practice room, Principal Wang, holding the white dragon bright silver spear, remained still at first, but once he moved, he was like thunder and lightning. Quick as a flash, the spear shook as if a five-clawed white dragon executed the simplest pounce, demonstrating incredibly exquisite spear skill. Opportunities to observe a great grandmaster training were rare. Lu Chenju stood quietly in place, silent, and in his mind there was only that dragon-transforming spear, its tip sometimes scattering like a pear blossom battering rain and sometimes coalescing from many to one point. Such a peak and transcendent spear technique left Lu Chenju at a loss for words. It seemed as if Principal Wang transcended technique itself, almost miraculously becoming one with the heavens and the earth. Before he knew it, a quarter of an hour had passed. Although Lu Chenju had never practiced spear skills and had no foundation, he felt he had already touched upon the first realm of spear technique. He just needed a spear method to practice and verify his understanding. Too strong, it delights the eye but hides the ferocity of thunder. Lu Chenju praised inwardly. Principal Wang stopped his movements, and the spear in his hands hummed in the void, disintegrating inch by inch into countless silver particles, which streamed like a dragon into Principal Wang's nostrils and mouth. And just like that, the spear disappeared. Obviously, it was kept away by a special technique of the great grandmaster. He needed this ability too. Otherwise, carrying a divine weapon everywhere was such a hassle. Lu Chenju asked, "Principal, how can one collect his weapon into his body like you just did?" Principal Wang exhaled a breath of mist, smiling and said, "First, you need to have a grandmaster-level divine weapon. And your cultivation has to reach martial arts grandmaster, open both the middle Kayan and middle Kun apertures, allowing your martial arts inner realm to initially possess a bit of the inner universe's capabilities. Then you need to nourish and refine the divine weapon day and night, so that the divine weapon resonates with the vibrational frequency of your body. Once you reach the human weapon resonance stage, you'll be able to disperse the divine weapon and store it within your universe." Lu Chenju learned a new trick, though it was still far off for him. After practicing with the spear, Principal Wang began practicing stance while asking, "Do you know why I summoned you here?" Lu Chenju thought for a moment and honestly replied, "To take me as a true disciple." Principal Wang laughed heartily. "Pretty good, no more pretending for me, huh?" Lu Chenju's face turned slightly red, then he immediately said, "Lu Chenju pays respects to master." Principal Wang's eyes flickered as he smiled and said, "During this period, King Shinkang also subtly approached me a few times. I understand the intentions of your sect. I had indeed considered taking you as my disciple, but I've been primarily busy with one matter over the past 10 years, and that is breaking the 6 shackles. After I accept you as a true disciple, my main role will be to provide you with a powerful title to deter those who lurk in the shadows. For the transfer of teachings, I've arranged someone for you. Aside from Li Gui, if you have any questions regarding tiger form or spear skill, you can ask him." Lu Chenju said, "Disciple wishes master a triumphant return in the pose of the heavenly king ahead of time. To be able to take a great grandmaster as a mentor, what more could one possibly need? Not to mention a great grandmaster, Even an ordinary grandmaster couldn't possibly serve Lu Chenju all the time. The primary task for the powerful is always to enhance their own cultivation, and only secondary to that is teaching and nurturing others. Principal Wang's gaze became reminiscent as he looked out the window and said, "Apart from you, I have 3 other true disciples. The eldest disciple's title is White-Clothed Swordsman. He became a martial artist at 17 and originally had the bearing of a grandmaster but unfortunately perished in a forbidden area during a mission in the Void Realm. Second disciple's title is Cough Cough, Fierce Coquette Tiger, her real name Linzia. She also became a martial artist at 17, and now she has the cultivation of a martial arts grandmaster. Your second senior sister has a combative nature, fierce like a mother tiger, and brooks no contravention from men. Currently, she is assigned by the school to defend Starfair Dragon City, battling demons and ghosts in the Void Realm." Lu Chenju recalled in his heart. He vaguely remembered having glanced over his second senior sister's matches at the Hua Mountain Martial Arts Tournament. Although she didn't make it to the heaven list, she was quite formidable. After all, the second senior sister was still young and had plenty of time. She could make it there through perseverance. Principal Wang continued. "The last one, your third senior brother, you've probably seen him at the headquarters before. He is currently ranked 2nd on the Hidden Dragon list, Cloud Slim Tiger Wang Xian, and among the 3 true disciples I took before you, he is the most talented, having the pose of a martial arts king. Though he doesn't have the Grandmaster realm cultivation, he has a high mastery of tiger form, with his fist theory reaching the 5th realm, understanding its intention. He practices the tiger form divine skill boxing, and besides, his soldier attack skill specializes in spear skill, so he has more than enough to teach you." After finishing, Principal Wang said, "Wang Xian, come in." Outside, a figure approached silently and without a trace. His build was slim and strong, his gaze sharp and captivating. Wang Xian slightly smiled and said, "Greetings, junior brother." Wang Xian, a disciple of the 3 Extreme Saint. He was very low-key, and Lu Chenju had only heard some rumors about him. Today it was confirmed. Lu Chenju took the initiative and greeted. "Greetings, senior brother." Wang Xian returned the salute and said, "Be courteous this one time today. No need for this in the future, it's rather troublesome. Just interact with me as you would with your 2 senior sisters." It seemed that Wang Xian had already done his homework on Lu Chenju. Principal Wang said, "Wang Xian, from now on, not only are you Chenju's older brother, but also his teacher. You must not keep any secrets for yourself, and there must be no internecine strife within the sect. Chenju's talent is not inferior to yours. I rely on both of you to expand and break new ground in Dazia." Wang Xian said, "Rest assured, master, I will surely take good care of my junior brother." Principal Wang said, "From now on, you 2 get acquainted with each other. You can give Chenju some pointers on spear skill or tiger form fist theory. Chenju is a reasonable man. He won't normally interfere with your cultivation. You aim to reach the martial arts grandmaster realm before the age of 40. Wang Xian confidently said, "Understood." Villa 32. Inside the practice room, Lu Chenju and Wang Xian practiced their stances while chatting. Wang Xian asked, "How many orifices have you opened up to now, junior brother?" "Just the 35th orifice." "Not bad, good pace, keep it up." After saying this, the 2 fell back into an awkward silence. Clearly, neither Lu Chenju nor Wang Xian were talkative. In layman's terms, silent as old tigers. Chapter 314. 215 Golden Body Great Success, 4K for double monthly tickets. Wang Xian found a topic and said, "Eldest martial brother inherited master's swordsmanship. Second martial sister is skilled in saber technique, and I am proficient in spear skill. I heard you obtained the Tiger Gall Divine Spear. I have a true skill level spear technique for you. Whenever you want to learn, you can come to me." There is no need for great merit when a true inheritance master imparts martial arts to a disciple. Lu Chenju thought for a moment and asked, "Brother, do you have any 3rd-tier spear martial arts suitable for beginners?" He planned to first practice a 3rd-tier martial arts to familiarize himself with spear skill, and once the foundation was solidified, he would consider learning the first-class White Tiger Breaking Army Spear and truly start on the path of spear technique. Wang Xian answered, "How about this? I'll pass on the layered forest spear technique to you. It's not of the tiger form, but from my experience, it's quite suitable for you to start with spear skill. What do you think?" Good. After the two finished their heavenly pile cultivation, Wang Xian looked around the room and said, "The practice room in your house is too cramped. It's all right for practicing short boxing skill. But for practicing long weapon spear technique, it's too restrictive. Follow me to the lake." He pushed open the window and leapt down. Lu Chenju followed behind, closed the window properly, and arrived at the lakeside. Wang Xian jumped high, casually broke off a section of tree branch about a zhang long, his fingertips humming with green gang qi, quickly shaping the branch into the form of a spear. He smiled and said, "I was called out by Master on short notice, didn't bring a spear, I'll use this to demonstrate. An old-world great-grandmaster, the beating heaven swordsman, once said that whether it's the sword Dao or any other soldier attack skill, at its highest, it is grass, trees, bamboo, and stone, all can be swords, branches can be used, and so can arms." Lu Chenju said, "At the absolute peak, strong fighters use their bodies as divine weapons to display unparalleled swordsmanship." Wang Xian confirmed, "That's right, the path of spear technique is about various movements such as stabbing, piercing, slapping, flicking, entwining, circling, blocking, seizing, lunging, pinning, poking, dancing, smashing, rolling, sticking, cutting, and other 24 styles of basic skills, flexible application and advanced use. Soldier attack skill is an extension of punches and kicks, meant to enhance the strength and range of our attacks, with the core principle being to command them as if they were our own limbs." Wang Xian stepped forward in a bow stance, gripping the spear in his right hand behind him, focusing on one point to stab out. He explained, "And holes for gripping the spear are divided into yin and yang hands, with the yin hand's palm facing down and the yang hand's palm facing up, and are further split between spearhead leading and spearhead trailing grips. You must slide up and down, reverse grip to flash, grip with both hands for distant targets, and slide up on the spear for close opponents. These are the most basic techniques that all spear skills require mastery of. With your talent, you should catch on after seeing it once. The layered forest spear technique has a momentum as fast as gusty winds passing through the forest and as fierce as a big beast leaping over a mountain ridge, combining speed with slowness, real with unreal, creating startling thunder out of silence." By Stone Lake, Wang Xian explained the principles of spear technique in simple yet profound terms, from theory to practice, making Lu Chenju marvel at his third elder brother's expertise. Indeed fitting for a genius, how much more impressive must Liao be, who is only slightly stronger? The thought alone was exhilarating. Lu Chenju, being a martial artist with no basis in spear technique, quickly mastered the basics of this third-tier spear skill through practice, and soon had his breakthrough. Wang Xian nodded and instructed, "Well done, now continue practicing on your own. If there's anything you don't understand, you can find me at Villa number 47. I've also moved to the branch school now." He came to the branch school firstly to guide Lu Chenju, fulfilling the master's mission, and secondly because the school wanted him to explore the entrance to the Void Realm at Tehu, under Grandmaster Wu's leadership. "Thanks, brother, it's getting late, you should rest early." Lu Chenju knew the value of time for a martial arts genius, so he did not expect to bother his elder brother again for something as trivial as a third-tier spear skill. After his brother left, he practiced spear alone by the lakeside, his body vibrating, his vigor transferring to the tiger gall, the divine spear humming and trembling, piercing the air with ripples. 18 styles of spear technique, the layered forest fully tainted. The thick 3-foot blue stone on the bank was pierced through as easily as tofu. Lu Chenju remarked, "Relying on the advantage of a divine weapon, even my meager spear skill could easily penetrate a high-level protective suit and the average cross-training membrane if I hit an enemy. Conversely, I must be doubly careful if I ever face an opponent with a divine weapon. Even with a golden body perfection, it would not suffice in the face of a divine weapon." Having a divine weapon in the early stages provided a clear advantage within the same realm. However, divine weapons are not common. Most are held by grandmasters or martial arts geniuses. Those dark black knights rarely possess such items. At Principal Wang's home, Wang Xian reported, "Master, I have passed the spear technique to my younger disciple." "How is his learning progress?" "Very fast, he should reach perfection in a few months." Go back then. Be careful on the trip to the Void Realm. I've already lost your eldest martial brother. I can't afford to lose any of the three of you." Seeing the sorrow in his master's expression, Wang Xian sighed internally. The eldest martial brother was also a knot in master's heart. In some aspects, He was quite similar to the younger disciple, both geniuses with commoner backgrounds. It's just unfortunate that the eldest brother had a hard destiny. Several days later, May 25th, it had been 3 months since Lu Chenju advanced to a martial artist, and with the dual boons of the divine seed and enlightenment elixir, he was still maintaining the pace of opening 2 acupoints per month. Now having opened 36 acupoints, he felt the difficulty of opening acupoints was increasing, but because the divine seed itself was also strengthening, he didn't need to extend the time for opening more acupoints. Maintaining the current state was fine. Most great grandmasters go through similar durations. Once it exceeds 12 hours, subtracting rest and duties, time becomes scarce for fist technique and inner strength practice. That day, at Chenju's home. Chenju, how is your body technique coming along? Not bad, I feel like there's a chance I'll advance this year. Chapter 315. 215 Golden Body Great Success, 4K for double monthly tickets, /2. Chenju felt helpless inside. How was this okay? You train for less than half an hour a day, what more do you expect? Clang, clang, clang. Chenju's palm movements were like a violent rainstorm, exploding a mighty force on Lu Chenju's body. After some time apart, the purity of the golden film on the upper half of this young man's body had already come close to matching his. The iron film on the lower half now began to show specks of reddish copper light, a sign of transformation into a copper Buddha Arhat body. Chenju exhaled and stopped, saying, "All right, sparring is over, you have entered the shedding phase. In the next few days, your golden body skill should reach great success. That's akin to mastering it. Combined with the physical quality and innate strength of a martial artist, even without wearing advanced protective gear, you can navigate through regular gunfire and shrapnel. But remember, the purpose of cross-training cultivation is not to make you reckless, it's to enhance your combat error margin. In this world, nothing is absolutely indestructible. You've probably heard the saying, those who drown are those who can swim. It applies to cross-training too. In ancient times, there was a cross-training master named Mang King who was invincible across domestic and foreign lands with his hard qi gong, never dodging in fights, relying purely on strength. However, when he traveled overseas, he was killed by a great demon in a tropical rainforest. Do you know how he died? Lu Chenju shook his head. Chenju continued. Relying on his cross-training, he didn't dodge the demon's attack. And what happened? That great demon practiced the Vajra unbreakable skill that allowed it to shrink to the size of a cow's hair, entered through the defensive gap in Mang King's crotch, and burst out from the inside, killing him instantly. Lu Chenju said, if only he had practiced the iron crotch skill. That wouldn't have worked, the iron crotch skill isn't omnipotent either. In short, when fighting against void things and cultists, it's better to dodge their attacks instead of relying too much on cross-training. I understand now. Lu Chenju reflected on his own sparring. He often relied on cross-training and used a brute force approach, which made him overconfident in his defenses. I'll need to be more cautious in the future. In the following days, Lu Chenju checked the progress of his golden body shedding every morning. Chenju had said that the transition from small success to great success in cross-training prodigies took a month. But Chenju hadn't predicted the time for Lu Chenju. May 31st. Lu Chenju woke up in the morning, smiled joyfully at his reflection in the mirror. His upper body shone with a dense golden glow, like it was plated in 24K gold, glowing fiercely. The other parts were a light golden bronze color, thick, ancient, and magnificent. He looked towards the martial arts tree. 18 Arhat's golden body skill, great success 1%. Phew, it wasn't easy. It took 1.5 years to achieve great success. The golden body skill seems to be the martial arts I've spent the longest time on so far. It looks like it'll take over 2 years to reach perfection. Indeed, the difficulty of cross-training was high. But once the golden body skill reaches perfection and nurtures the third-rank divine seeds, my cross-training talent will significantly improve and learning other cross-training methods should become a lot easier. Next, Lu Chenju tested out every kind of attack he could think of against himself, flames, alloy blades, and the like, all on his own body, finally concluding the test. The defense power of the great success level golden body skill had surpassed the perfect Arhat skill in the lower half of his body. For the already impressive upper body, it was beyond belief. The thickness of the golden film was a full finger width, making him look like an ancient heavily armored general when he displayed his cross-trained golden body, making him appear much bulkier. The golden film itself was weightless, a sort of mysterious energy, so it didn't hinder Lu Chenju's movements or flexibility at all. It could be understood as a kind of barrier tightly sticking to his skin. Great, I'm feeling safer by the day. June 1st. A small gathering at the sect. Jai Chuntong asked, "What have you learned from the great Grandmaster?" Lu Chenju replied, "Some spear skills taught to me by Wang Xian." King Shinkang commented, "Wang Xian is very strong, stronger than this old man. He is bound to achieve great things in the days to come. His personal instruction should not be much inferior to that of a common grandmaster." "Yes," Jai Chuntong happily said. "Keep cultivating diligently. Don't let Principal Wang be disappointed." Shi Ruyu thought of something and asked, "Chenju, I remember around this time next year is the De Zia Tianlu Cup competition. This type of competition usually requires a year of preliminary selections in advance. Are you participating?" Lu Chenju looked at his senior sister and shook his head. "I won't be participating for now. I've just entered the martial artist rank, and I won't be strong enough next year. To achieve a rank in this event, one must at least have the cultivation of a martial arts master. Even if he participated, it would only be for the experience and to feel the atmosphere at the venue. The Tianlu Cup requires participants to be under 35 years old. Anyone above the martial artist level can participate, with no divisions, all competing together. This means a jumble of those at first break, second break, and even third break, and there have been cases of participants at fourth break monsters. For example, Kangshan Dragon King. Without the strength of Wang Xian or Liao, advancement to the finals is impossible." King Shinkang said, "Then we'll wait for the All-Nations Martial Arts Tournament 6 years later." Jai Chuntong spoke, "I thought Chenju could get a place in the yellow list, seeing his progress. I fear by the time of the martial arts tournament, he might even hope for a second break, only eligible for the mystic list then." Lu Chenju understood his master's meaning. If he entered the mystic list competition, without the cultivation of end realm or ultimate realm, it would be impossible to be among the top 100 in the world at second break. Lu Chenju said with a smile, "More than a ranking, I would like to meet young elites, fighters, and spiritual cultivators from other countries. That's the real charm of the All-Nations Martial Arts Tournament." Jai Feiyan's eyes sparkled in anticipation. "And the young leaders from the 24 schools like Dragon Tiger Zhangling Miao, Kunlun Li Jikyu, Qingcheng Bai Miao Miao, Galaxy Luke Xuanjin. Ah, I'm so envious. Master Brother standing on the same stage as these exceptional people is already very impressive." Even though the All-Nations Martial Arts Tournament was still 6 years away, some forces in society already began promoting their prodigies in preparation for all nations. This was due in part to the looming threat of virtual disaster, which diminished the general public's interest in the martial arts tournament. That night, Lu Chenju, who was just about to start his training, answered a call. "This is Lu Feng. Have you been busy recently?" "Not really, what's up?" "If you want to earn Vajra points, come to the police station tomorrow. There's a task to eradicate a branch of the Blue Lotus sect, guaranteed minimum 300 Vajra points. This incense master, he was Wang Kang's previous connection, very well hidden, but finally, we flushed him out." "Is it a major case involving the incense master?" "Yes." "All right, I'll come by tomorrow." "You've just entered the martial artist level. Facing the incense master alone might be tough. I have a friend at Galaxy Martial University, a cross-training martial artist. I'll arrange for him to assist you. Vajra points, enough to learn Golden Bell Jade Drum Ming King Body, and purchase 5 boxes of Minjiu medicine." The task's substantial reward hinted at the difficulty. After hanging up the phone, Lu Chenju practiced the Tiger Roar Fist, a foundational martial art for Tiger Roar Mountain River Fist. The Tiger Roar Fist advocates bold and expansive movements, grasping the atmosphere like a tiger. Roar! Along with a high-pitched roar, Lu Chenju threw a punch as if opening the Ren and Du meridians, unleashing an invisible force that swept across the landscape. The Tiger Roar Fist places great importance on momentum. Though it's a third-rate fist technique, its application of momentum is not something the Black Tiger Fist can match. Tiger Roar Fist, perfection. Divine Seed Chi swallowing like a tiger, first rank, hidden in the Shiafu Acupoint. Effect 1, Tiger Wisdom Level 1. Effect 2, Tiger Form Level 1. Effect 3, Domineering slightly increases the aura of subjugation. Domineering. Domineering is also a type of special invisible force, similar to evil chi and anger, except that anger is something everyone possesses. It's just a matter of if they can mobilize it. Evil chi can be born from many battles. Only domineering is elusive, 1 in a million. It's said that during the era of temples and the world at large, anyone who could cultivate domineering would, without exception, become an unparalleled general, a revered sovereign, or a sect leader, and a Pi-O Dao ancestor, eventually making domineering a significant symbol of top-tier power. Chapter 316, 216 Tyrants Chi, 4K seeking double monthly tickets at month's end. At the All-Nations Martial Arts Competition, Lu Chenju had seen many cultivators exude overwhelming dominance, the most typical being the heavenly dominance of the Kangshan Dragon King. In one match, the Dragon King's opponent was a martial arts king, who under the influence of heavenly dominance lost his confidence in a blink and eventually withdrew ashamed from the contest. How strong was the will of the martial arts king? Even when facing formidable void things, he would not show fear. However, there was no choice against the dominance of Kangshan Dragon King, considered the world's #1. He could repel enemies without bloodshed. The battle that left the deepest impression on Lu Chenju was the decisive fight between Kangshan Dragon King and the King of Fighting, Jia Ji Lai. These two top-level fighters were merely standing on the stage, exchanging invisible forces, and they tore apart the thick clouds that shrouded the surroundings. Within the aura of these two strong fighters, there was lightning and thunder, violent storms, as if it were the apocalypse. In a moment, heaven shifted and all phenomena stirred. This was a clash of auras. Not bad, another interesting special effect. Lu Chenju didn't hesitate to integrate it. Still short of 1 first-rank Divine Seed, to evolve into a true skill-level Divine Seed. This integration, the dominant special effect merged into Mystic Tiger Spirit, Tiger Power category. Effects related to aura can be integrated into Chi Po, enhancing its capabilities. Tiger Power simultaneously activates Evil Chi, Dominance, and Tiger Roar. Those with weak wills will enter a compelled rigid state for the duration of 1 breath during which they cannot move freely. Those with weaker wills will be temporarily subjugated to you, intimidated and controlled by you, but without loyalty. Seeing this special effect, Lu Chenju's eyes lit up. A tiger's shock makes the enemy submit. Interesting, although it is just short-term intimidation and control, if used well it could have miraculous effects. Good stuff. The next day, upon waking up in the morning, Lu Chenju turned on his mobile phone. Your account ending in 9527 received a transfer of 20 million from Taoist Science and Technology. Note, Talent Sponsorship Fund. Current balance 43 million. Another 20 million credited. According to his agreement with Taoist Science and Technology as an SSS-level talent, after becoming a martial artist, the sponsorship from Taoist Science and Technology automatically doubled to 20 million. Breaking the second shackles would increase it to 40 million, and the third shackles to 80 million. As for martial arts grandmasters, it is no longer about monetary sponsorship. Grandmasters don't lack money. What they need are resources. Before becoming a grandmaster, resources could still be purchased with money. After advancing to grandmaster, heavenly materials and earthly treasures, rare beasts and birds, top-level medicines, and inheriting divine weapons, these items not sold in markets are distributed by Zia's martial arts universities based on merit. Therefore, Taoist Science and Technology sponsorship would also change to these resources. As a leading enterprise, Taoist Science and Technology naturally had corresponding quotas. Lu Chenju sent a text message to Chen Yi. Lu Chenju thanks President Chen. Chen Yi, you're welcome. The company is just fulfilling its contract. Moreover, your achieving first place nationally has also brought considerable indirect benefits to the company. Feel free to use it. The weather was gloomy, hot, and humid. At 8 in the evening, in the meeting room of Pingjiang Police Station, Duan Lingyu assessed the young man in front of him and shook hands, saying, "Hello, I'm Duan Lingyu." Lu Chenju smiled and replied, "I've seen you before." He had heard about this big shot from his senior sister, who reportedly could launch invisible gang chi blades with his fingers, instantly penetrating armored vehicles, quite like a human gatling. Duan Lingyu said, "Hold on a moment, you have teammates coming soon, take a seat first." After sitting down, Lu Chenju asked, "Isn't Director Lu here?" He heard that a master of the evil path was spotted somewhere and has taken a team to apprehend him. Is it Tang Zheng? Yes, this scoundrel, since arriving in Sioux City, has been deliberately spreading demonic skills, creating chaos. Many martial artists and even martial artists with weak resolve have been lured in. May I ask what kind of demonic skill, so I can be wary in the future? Devouring Heaven Demon skill, and its simplified version blood transformation technique. If you encounter suspects of this kind, report them to us immediately. Under no circumstance should you learn it. Lu Chenju's expression grew solemn. So it is this demonic skill. Rumors say it can transform others' chi blood for one's own benefit. Although only a trace at a time, it's still much faster than normal cultivation. Duan Lingyu stated, "From ancient times to the present, any martial arts that absorb others, chi blood and life have been demonic skills with severe side effects. Because the philosophy of such martial arts is wrong from the beginning, violating human ethics and damaging heaven's harmony, a great sin. Demonic skills are not martial arts. This fundamentally denies the original intentions of the sages who created martial arts." Duan Lingyu deeply detested Tang Zheng. This man alone brought down the reputation of Pingzheng Martial Arts University. As the two discussed, a young man with short hair, dressed in loose training clothes, floated in. Duan Lingyu introduced, "Chenju, let me introduce you, specifically requested from the Galaxy Martial University branch in Magic City by Director Lu, an expert in cross-training, Gui Lingtong." Gui Lingtong looked at Lu Chenju and greeted with a smile, holding his fists. "Lu Chenju, that's me. Hahaha, Dragon City's top figure. I've long admired your renown." After some social interaction, Lu Chenju learned that Gui Lingtong was the class monitor of the star class where Wang Gang was, and he realized that where there was cross-training, there would be Wang Gang. Among the experts of cross-training in Jiangnan, Wang Gang knew 8 out of 10. Duan Lingyu quickly shifted to the main topic, explaining the mission. "Our target is called Jiangzixu, Sioux City, beside the moat, inside a private villa built in Jiangnan style. A figure sat alone, sipping tea, contemplating blue lotus flowers in his mind. Jiangzixu, incense master of the Blue Lotus sect. Suddenly he opened his eyes, looking toward the courtyard. Who? A thin, old figure stood at the doorway. It's me. Ziazayado, what are you doing here? Chapter 317. 216 Tyrant's Chi, 4K seeking double monthly tickets at month's end, /2. I want to discuss a collaboration with you. You are in decline. What qualifies you to talk about collaborating with me? Times have changed. I have now pledged myself to Grandmaster Tang. Upon hearing Grandmaster Tang, Jiang Zixu's expression subtly shifted. This man was now also a tyrant of the Sioux City underworld, on the same level as Protector Su of the Blue Lotus sect. Jiang Zixu waved his hand, and the door opened automatically. A gaunt old man walked in. His hands still bore traces of blood, which he seemed to regard as nothing. Jiang Zixu furrowed his brows. Have you killed someone? The gaunt old man grinned and said, I was merely enjoying my blood meal, it seems. He was a startup CEO, founder of the Mortal Bone app, a man without talent. At his age, he was still only at the 5th rank of cultivation. Instead of wasting his years, he might as well empower my martial arts. You've also started practicing demonic techniques. Better to risk it all than to die of old age. Speak, what kind of collaboration? The Sioux City Dragon martial prodigy, Wang Hongdao, has only just stepped into the martial artist realm. I have already figured out some of his movements. Although he is a genius, if you and I join forces and ambush him, there's a good chance of hunting him down. Why seek me out? Why not your own people from Carefree Travel? Working with the organization means sharing the merit. If we collaborate across organizations, we can each take half of Wang Hongdao's body for our missions and both win. Besides, we are old friends. I trust you more than them. I'll think about it. Geniuses grow quickly, so you'd better reply soon. I originally intended to make a move on Lu Chenju, but he displayed remarkable combat power as soon as he entered the martial artist realm. Therefore, I turned to Plan B with Wang Hongdao, seizing the transition period before he masters true skill boxing. Once the geniuses master true skill boxing, our hope will become slim. I understand. Ziazayado turned to leave, and suddenly he noticed two figures in the distance stealthily approaching the villa like nocturnal owls. His brow slightly furrowed as he thought. Could Jiang Zixu have been discovered by the police? Xia Xiaodao's expression changed when one of the figures suddenly veered towards him. The figure, wearing a tiger mask, closed in rapidly with incredible speed, its youthful and vigorous chi blood starkly different from that of someone of his old age. An undeserved disaster. Under the cover of night, two silhouettes chased one another on rooftops. Suddenly, the one behind unleashed an invisible aura, letting out a tiger's roar that tore through the night sky. Roar! Even the fastest martial artist cannot outpace the force and speed of sound waves. In a flash, a fierce tiger with bared fangs invaded Xia Xiaodao's mind, stunning him. Tiger power was deployed. Xia Xiaodao's movements froze, and he stood there momentarily stupefied. By the time he came to his senses, the tiger-faced figure had already caught up. A fist as large as a sandbag exploded from behind him, unleashing a tremendous force. Xia Xiaodao was slammed to the ground like a cannonball, but he managed to push off the ground and flip back onto his feet against a wall. He frowned and asked, "Why would you assault someone on the street?" The tiger-faced person showed his badge, and an icy voice followed. "Police investigation. What is your relationship with the owner of this villa?" The masked figure was none other than Lu Chenju. The two had spotted a martial artist leaving the home of a cultist and became suspicious. Chenju had Gu Lingtong lead a team to contain Jiang Zixu while he pursued this individual himself. Had he been certain this man was an accomplice, the initial fist blade could have seriously injured Xia Xiaodao. Xia Xiaodao said with a smile, "Officer, we have no relationship. I was just passing by." Lu Chenju cared little for banter and calmly said, "Please come with me. Whether there's a relationship or not, we'll find out after an investigation." Xia Xiaodao's expression changed several times before he suddenly shouted. His shoulders shook and his right hand whipped out like a long lash, accompanied by the sound of slicing air, targeting the masked person. He was skilled in a first-class martial art from a certain small boxing lineage called the 5 consecutive whip palm. This is the Xia family's ancestral ultimate martial art, skilled in long-range combat, incorporating wide swings and expansive moves, focusing on order within chaos. What appears to be random flailing is, in fact, each move and style having deep purpose. "Hey, so they're all in this together." Lu Chenju sneered. His figure elusive, he dodged the wild splitting fist. Tiger Demon Tai Sway technique was very sensitive to a killing aura, and before Xia Xiaodao could act, he was already prepared. The man before him was emanating fresh chi blood, clearly having just killed someone, and his demeanor suggested that he was undoubtedly a black knight. Evil never separated itself from darkness. Faced with Lu Chenju, Xia Xiaodao's infallible chaotic fists failed to connect. He transformed fists into palms, with a blood-colored white luminescence radiating from his palm center, illuminating the night sky. Thunderclap sky palm. Crackling and snapping, electricity formed from the void, exploding continuously with a terrifying momentum. The lightning-fast hanging palm strikes were unleashed in succession. Lu Chenju's figure flickered ghost-like. A tree as thick as a bowl was felled by the palm strike, and when hit, large sections of the white wall crumbled away. Despite over a dozen hanging palm strikes, not one hit Lu Chenju. Lu Chenju grinned and said, "Old man, you're too slow." Dodging yet another heart-shattering palm from Xia Xiaodao, Lu Chenju stepped forward, right fist gathering power, his right arm momentarily swelling. A golden fist blade piercing the elder's palm wind, accompanied by a sound of metal clashing with an alloy dagger. Xia Xiaodao angrily wielded the blade. "Don't push me," Lu Chenju coolly replied. "Surrender, assaulting an officer is a serious crime." Xia Xiaodao swung his dagger frantically, each stab aimed at vital points. Two completely different innate strengths collided continuously through the weapons in the dead of night. Lu Chenju didn't want to tangle here too long. After all, the main mission tonight was to capture Jiang Zixu. Mystic Tiger enters the body. Lu Chenju's aura surged, his form seemingly expanding once again. Muscle friction and boiling blood produced a hot wind and electric currents that burst forth along the fist blade. The ground around him turned into a Sahara desert of rolling heat waves, charring nearby grass and whitewashing the walls. Boom, boom, boom. Fist shadows filled the sky, mixed with streaks of wind and thunder fire, striking mercilessly toward the enemy. Zia Zayato's face turned purplish with extreme frustration. If he hadn't used demonic techniques to strengthen his chi blood, using his overage body, he would hardly withstand 20 moves against this young man. His own strength was inadequate, and now his equipment was thoroughly outclassed. Crack! After a fierce clash, the alloy dagger carried by Zia Zayato also snapped. The claws of the Mountain Lord fist blade unsheathed, and invisible bursts of energy gales assaulted him. With no strategies left, Zia Zayato activated his blood transformation technique, forcibly mobilizing the chi blood of others he had stored within his body awaiting refinement. Blood mist sprayed from his pores. In an instant, Zia Zayato's presence soared, turning into a blood man. To hell with you! Palms filled with unwillingness, and rage cleaved toward Lu Chenju's throat with a blood-red light. Lu Chenju leaned back, his right leg kicking out sideways, slamming Zia Zayato into a wall. His right foot struck the ground, his form breaking through the air currents, shooting forward like a cannonball, the fist blade piercing with a squelch into Zia Zayato's arms, brutally carving off a large piece of flesh. Lu Chenju thought to himself, demonic techniques, still too weak after a burst of power, fists fear the vigor of youth. A heart-wrenching scream filled the air. Lu Chenju, seizing his advantage, didn't relent, slamming a heavy palm onto Zia Zayato's temple, sending him crashing against another wall. Zia Zayato, bleeding from every orifice and transformed into a bloodied figure, fainted. Lu Chenju twisted his hands, first disabling his arms, then snapping his legs out of joint before ceasing. Cultivating demonic techniques, this man must be a Black Knight. Probably a member of Carefree Travel. Leaving a live captive for Lu Feng might just help unravel the identity of the mastermind behind the curtain. With Tang Zheng dealt with, my master can rest in peace as well. Suddenly, Lu Chenju looked down at the ground. During the fight, a scroll of yellowed paper that seemed ancient fell out from the tattered lining of Zia Zayato's clothing. Lu Chenju picked it up, and after preparing himself, carefully unfolded it. Inside was a map of mountainous and river terrain he had never seen before, annotated with ancient Zia script. The Netherworld Geomancy Map. Is this a map of a certain area in the Void Realm? In ancient times, some referred to the Void Realm as the Netherworld. The Netherworld, a dwelling of demons and ghosts. How does Zia Zayato have a map of the Void Realm? Lu Chenju didn't have time to study it. He collected the map, secured Zia Zayato's hands and feet with shackles, then delivered another punch to prevent him from regaining consciousness. Chapter 318, 217. Having seen the true God, why not worship? 4K asked for double monthly tickets. Before he left, he searched Zia Zayato again and found no other items. According to the rules, any Black Knight taken down during a mission, as long as they didn't possess forbidden items such as evil artifacts or demonic powers, their personal spoils of war would belong to the martial artist. This also motivated martial artists to actively hunt down and eradicate evil. If martial artists found the spoils useless, they could hand them over to the police to exchange for a bounty. On the other side, Yang Zixu was currently surrounded by several figures. The leader, clad in a green Taoist robe that billowed, showing off muscles wrapped in an advanced protective suit, was none other than Gu Lingtong. Besides him, there were 6 military personnel in military protective suits, each wielding silver-white firearms, in teams of 2 forming a triangle around Gu Lingtong. Capturing a cult incense master was more difficult than capturing an ordinary Black Knight, so the police had specifically requested a team of high-level experts from the military to ensure a foolproof operation. The firearms in their hands were not ordinary guns, but military void-breaking guns. The bullets they fired could explode while passing through spiritual bodies, causing significant damage to void things or certain virtualizing cultists through the contained void thing forces. Yang Zixu, surrounded by rapidly revolving blue lotus petals and emitting blue light from his 7 orifices, charged wildly against the barrage of bullets trying to break out of the encirclement. Gu Lingtong, calm and composed, instructed his men to suppress with gunfire, stepping in whenever a military expert faltered, slapping his palm gleaming with blue light onto Jiang Zixu's protective blue light, knocking him back into the circle. At Galaxy Martial University, where hundreds contend, he practiced the lower-grade true skill boxing of Wudang Tai Kai called Green Cloud Hand, and also cross-trained the Chuanwu body from Wudang. Jiang Zixu's expression soured, realizing that the police were trying to deplete his divine power. after which the martial artists would easily handle him once depleted. I'd rather suffer injuries to my divine body, but I must break out. I just heard the tiger roar, and I'm sure the police have sent more than one expert. If two of them entangle me coupled with these annoying firearms, my death is certain. Deciding this, Jiang Zixu chanted a spell. His figure instantly withered, aging by over a decade, and the surrounding blue lotus petal barrier ballooned like an inflated balloon, spinning rapidly like a blender, shredding the potted landscapes along the way, cracking the floor, scattering gravel, creating a terrifying noise. Gu Lingtong's expression shifted slightly. Everyone back off a bit. This Jiang Zixu was ruthless, burning his divine power right at the onset. Normally, military experts relying on high-level protective suits could withstand such wide-ranging attacks, but the Blue Lotus sex methods could ignore the protective gear. Buzz. A small Blue Lotus petal tornado shot up inside the small villa, the blue light illuminating the night sky, sprinkling light like rain, instantly shattering all the villa's glass. Gu Lingtong, covering his head with swinging arms, dove into the petal storm. His Taoist robe was shredded in a moment, petal pieces disintegrating upon hitting his protective suit, instantly forming a thick, ancient membrane patterned with mysterious designs, bursting with blue light. Xunwu body. His first-class hard qigong had reached great success. Buddhists pursued the Vajra, unbreakable body. Taoists pursued the true martial, undying body. These were the ultimate realms of cross-training, existing only in legends. The explosive force of the petals, like pebbles in a pond, created ripples on the surface of the blue light. The blue specks dispersed and converged, endlessly regenerating. Gu Lingtong had already reached behind Jiang Zixu. His figure light as a cloud crane, ethereally rising, his right hand transformed into a cloud-piercing arrow, bursting through clouds to strike the sun, targeting the enemy's back. A hard qigong expert. Jiang Zixu was shocked inside. That move, if executed by another martial artist, would certainly make them retreat. He could use that opportunity to escape, but this short-haired Taoist seemed unfazed, proving to be a challenging adversary. His back split open, a lotus of flesh and blood emerged, blooming like a garlic toad, enduring a strike of green cloud hand from Gu Lingtong. The lotus exploded. Using this force, Jiang Zixu grunted, shooting out. Lotus flowers formed under his feet, swiftly flipping over the villa and heading towards a small alley. I will avenge today's enmity, incense master, another day. Jiang Zixu's voice carried, and Gu Lingtong inwardly cursed. His figure, like a white crane soaring to the heavens, touched the ground then the wall, pursuing to kill. Escaping into the dark alley, Jiang Zixu wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Before he could find a way out, suddenly, an indescribable domineering and evil qi intertwined, striking his mind, followed by a deafening tiger roar beside his ears. Jiang Zixu reacted quickly, biting his tongue tip. His blue lotus divine power surged to the top of his head to regain clarity, but it was too late. A streak of black light pierced through the cracks of a guest house's courtyard wall, gleaming with a metallic cold light, stabbing unexpectedly into his right waist. Slash! The black light slashed, cutting him in half, his intestines breaking off, dripping from the wound. Jiang Zixu looked in disbelief. This black light turned out to be a long spear. Someone was hidden inside the courtyard wall by the roadside, lying in wait, and after building momentum, thrust out the spear, piercing through the wall and him together. If not for the wall dissipating some force, he would have been strung up on the long spear like skewered mutton, the spear shining brilliantly, clearly no ordinary weapon. This is a divine weapon. Jiang Zixu's wound frantically sprouted blue lotus flowers, and with a flash, a burly figure vaulted the wall and descended from above. The powerful air current he brought swept away the dust. A huge foot stamped on the ground, shattering pieces of bluestone. Chapter 319, 217. Having seen the true God, why not worship? 4K ask for double monthly tickets, /2. Jiang Zixu narrowly dodged that kick, but he couldn't escape the fist, fueled by golden light bursting out like a slingshot. The power of the punch was like a mountain torrent rampaging within his body, causing his organs and bones, strengthened and transformed by divine power, to fracture like porcelain with fine cracks all over. Boom! Jiang Zixu slammed hard against the courtyard wall of the inn, the brick wall sprouting spiderweb fractures as he spat out a mouthful of blood, then slapped out a palm strike. His palm shattered the blood. Each droplet of blood turned into a blood lotus seed, exploding in a shotgun blast of attacks that covered the sky, unavoidable. Accompanied by the clanging sound of metal striking metal, Lu Chenju crossed his arms in front of his face and was suddenly sent flying backward. The golden film on his upper body, like the surface of the moon, pitted and scarred, slowly healed. The membrane on his lower body, however, looked like a honeycomb, with many areas pierced through. The exploding blood lotus seeds left behind several coin-sized flesh wounds on the surface of his body. Crack! The sound of breaking came from the protective suit's invisible force field. The high-intensity attack caused the protective suit to activate at full power, and now the battery was nearly drained. Lu Chenju ignored the pain, his leg muscles knitting back together. He gripped his spear, channeling innate strength into his right arm and thrust out with the newly learned layered forest spear technique he had been practicing. Though the spear skill was simple and unadorned, with the enhancement of innate strength and the leverage of the divine weapon, the spear pierced through the flesh lotus blossoming from Jiang Zixu's chest, shattering petals layer by layer. Jiang Zixu hardened his heart, his chest ripped open as his heart shifted slightly, allowing the long spear to pierce straight in. Then, reciting a spell, he gathered most of his divine power at his chest, where countless blood lotus seeds, leaves, and roots within his body intertwined, ensnaring the spear. A huge force transmitted through the spear to Lu Chenju's hands, uncontrollably drawing him towards Jiang Zixu. Jiang Zixu, with a resolve to die, brought his hands together, and behind him emerged the phantom of a blue lotus spanning the heavens and earth, as if an evil god had descended. The master of the lotus, cleanse the mortal world, ancient realm descend. An intangible pressure converged from all around, and Lu Chenju felt as if he was plunging into the Mariana Trench. His muscles quivered, his bones hummed, and every drop of blood and cell within him was under extreme pressure, as if the vast divine majesty was descending upon the world like Buddha suppressing Sun Wukong. With the mystic tiger within him, beneath the weight of divine might, Lu Chenju's tiger form Qi stood firm like a solitary boat in a tempest, unwavering amidst the storm, guarding his spirit. Martial arts internal realm. The 36 acupoint heavenly stars lit up in succession, and the tiger star lord who had been sharpening his blade also stopped, for above the firmament, an immense and stupefyingly strange lotus phantom had appeared, slowly rotating as blood lotus seeds with blood-colored eyes opened one by one. You insignificant mortals dare challenge the might of God. Seeing the true God, why not kneel and worship? Invisibly, thoughts invaded Lu Chenju's mind and spirit. Roar! The tiger star lord calmly lifted his broad and hefty blade, carving a deep trench into the earth. The mystic tiger crouched to shoulder the blade, then stepped into the void, ascending with each step. With each step the tiger star lord took, his pent-up power grew. The slow blade accelerated, becoming increasingly fierce. The heavens roared with the wind at his command, and the stars dimmed for him. As if the demon-quelling spirit descends from heaven, truly a Tai Sui god of the human world. Worship God, worship my ass. I am the god. Can you turn the world upside down within my inner realm? 10 years of sharpening a single blade, its frosty edge has never been tested. With a sky-collapsing strike, he slashed upward, igniting the Tai Sui Sha Qi that had been building up for so long. The bloody blade light cleaved through the blue giant lotus, turning into a blood river that flowed into the distance, gradually dissipating in the sky like a trail cloud from a plane. The blue giant lotus crumbled bit by bit, only its unwilling spirit sending forth a message. Those who blasphemously challenge the deities shall forever fall into infinite hell. The inner realm returned to normal. Lu Chenju opened his eyes, looking shaken. That was a terrifying spiritual attack. Cult methods are indeed difficult to guard against. If my martial arts hadn't been strong enough, and I hadn't cultivated the tiger demon Tai Sui technique, I might have been overwhelmed just now, leaving my heart spirit crushed. Even if my body was unharmed, it would have surely left behind a heart demon, creating deep problems for future cultivation. The Xia martial arts cultivates essence, spirit, and Qi together. All three must be unblemished. Lu Chenju pulled out his spear, and Jiang Zixu's physical body, like withered lotus leaves in winter, wilted. The cultist had only a breath left, his dim eyes looking at Lu Chenju. How is this possible? He breathed his last, unable to comprehend. How did this young man, standing before him, withstand his spiritual attack unleashed from such close range, unscathed? He had used this technique before to successfully crush the heart and spirit of a Black Knight martial artist. After that incident, the person converted to the Blue Lotus sect. for he had seen a terrifying entity more dreadful than all the living beings in the heavens and the earth combined, the master of the Blue Lotus. He had still underestimated the will of the prodigious martial artists. Crackling sounds echoed as Jiang Zixu's body kept collapsing and disintegrating until all that was left in his place was a withered, shriveled corpse, like rotting wood, bizarre beyond words. Lu Chenju, looking at the tiger gall long spear in his hand, realized that the weapon had drained Jiang Zixu's blood, which was somewhat terrifying. The tiger gall is a righteous divine weapon, effective only against demon ghosts. It does not drink blood if used to kill humans. Lu Chenju suddenly understood that cultists who reach the rank of incense master are already so alienated that they no longer count as human. They are demons and ghosts. Looking at the increasingly divine tiger gall, Lu Chenju murmured to himself. The demon ghosts that escaped from the void realm might have been humans or humanoid creatures that lived somewhere before they were turned into all kinds of strange monsters by the evil god. Thus, these mutated cultists are essentially demons. What's different is that, as long as they don't use divine power, they are indistinguishable from normal people. Even if you use equipment to take X-rays, test their blood, or conduct other examinations, you won't be able to see any difference. Ultimately, it's the divine power that causes trouble. Divine weapons are indeed powerful, allowing me to nearly kill an incense master of the cult in an instant. I still lack experience in facing the enemy. I was injured by an evil skill that entered my body. I'll need to be more cautious in the future. After reflecting on these lessons, Lu Chenju put away his long spear. The battle had been extremely perilous, ending in the blink of an eye. When Gu Lingtong arrived, Lu Chenju, with his spear strapped to his back, said, "It's taken care of." Gu Lingtong looked at the corpse on the ground and then at Lu Chenju. "That quick?" Lu Chenju nodded. Gu Lingtong's gaze fell on the long spear on Lu Chenju's back. He had initially thought it was an ordinary void blade, but now it seemed very likely to be a divine weapon spear. He knew how tricky an incense master of the cult could be. They weren't so easy to kill. He noticed blood seeping from Lu Chenju's legs and surmised that he must have gone through a tough fight. Gu Lingtong inquired, "Brother Lu's injury is not serious, right?" Lu Chenju shook his head. Gu Lingtong inspected the body and then averted his gaze. "If that's so, let's head back." Lu Chenju said, "Hey, Mr. Gu, let's split the spoils of war." Gu Lingtong waved his hand dismissively, exuding the demeanor of a detached Taoist master. "No need, I didn't contribute much to this battle." Gu Lingtong often undertook missions to capture cultists, and most of the time he could only find evil artifacts and evil cult scriptures, which were contraband and required to be handed over to the police for proper handling. He had been invited by Lu Feng mainly to earn Vajra points and money. After Gu Lingtong left, Lu Chenju found several items among the withered remains. One of them was a white bone carving the size of a walnut, hollowed out with the image of a blue lotus deity exuding an eerie aura. It was likely an evil artifact. Even through the void-breaking gloves, he felt a corrosive power piercing his flesh. Although it had no effect on martial artists, it was still uncomfortable. The bead was full of cracks, damaged at some unknown time. There was also a blue-covered ancient scripture. The Blue Lotus Ancient Scroll. This is an evil skill. Lu Chenju scanned it quickly and couldn't understand a word of it. The last item, hidden among the ashes, was an old bracelet with 12 beads that were dark and shiny. Each bead had characters on it. Lu Chenju recognized some as the Pu Siu script from the neighboring Po Siu ancient country. Even through the gloves, he could feel strands of invisible force brushing his mind, a cool sensation rushing straight to the crown of his head, calming the blood and mood that had been stirred up by combat into a tranquil state like a still well. Lu Chenju was like an old immortal, concentrating his spirit and calming his qi. His eyes lit up. This must be something good. Chapter 320, 218 Spiritual Vessel, 4K request for double monthly tickets. He had seen some spiritual practitioners from Po Siu country wearing similar bracelets at the All Nations Martial Arts competition. They seemed to call them spiritual artifacts. The full name was Spiritual Instrument of the Mind, which, as the name implies, often protected the mind. With long-term wear, it also had the effect of enhancing one's invisible spiritual power. If it's real, then this is a good find. Spiritual artifacts were equally precious. They were similar to divine weapons and generally passed down through generations. They were often made from heavenly materials and earthly treasures, exotic beast skeletons, and even the relics left by spiritual practitioners upon their death, known as Spirit Emperor's sons. Spirit Emperor's son was akin to the relics of high monks in Buddhism. Such items could only form under fortuitous circumstances after someone with a certain level of cultivation had passed away. Of course, spiritual artifacts made from Spirit Emperor's sons were high-ranking items. Although the bracelet in question appeared extraordinary, it probably wasn't high-level. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the possession of a mere incense master. In the police car, Gu Lingtong inquired, "Brother Lu, did you find anything on that incense master?" He was somewhat curious. Lu Chenju truthfully replied, "An evil skill, an evil artifact, and a bracelet." Although Lu Chenju had exerted the most effort, the killing of the incense master tonight was a joint effort. If Gu Lingtong hadn't held the incense master back, he wouldn't have been able to capture the Black Knight. After some hesitation, Gu Lingtong asked, "May I take a look at that bracelet?" Lu Chenju displayed the bracelet suspected to be a spiritual artifact. Gu Lingtong's expression slightly changed. Then he said, "This is no ordinary bracelet. It's a spiritual artifact. Although it's not of much use to martial artists, wearing it over the years can nonetheless improve one's spiritual power. This item could be worth hundreds of millions on the black market, and some cultivators from Po Siu ancient country urgently need it. They're willing to pay a high price. Brother Lu, with this find, you've made a killing." Inside, he was somewhat vexed. If he had known, he should have been part of the split. Now, after making a stand on generosity as a martial artist, he felt awkward going back on his word. Seeing Gu Lingtong's expression, Lu Chenju said, "Mr. Gu, do you have a way to contact the spiritual practitioners of Po Siu ancient country? If they need it, they can trade it with heavenly materials and earthly treasures or other resources. When the time comes, we can split it according to the effort put in. If not, I can compensate you with some money. What do you think?" Gu Lingtong shook his head. "Thanks for the offer, Brother Lu, but I said no, and I won't go back on my word." Now, he genuinely regarded Lu Chenju as someone to make an ally. Although the spiritual artifact was good, it was not as valuable as the friendship of Dragon City's chief. He understood that much. So he said, "Brother Lu, you keep your advice, don't exchange it, and I don't want any monetary compensation. Anything that can improve spiritual power is a good thing." Lu Chenju replied, "All right then. I didn't expect to come out on a mission and meet a generous person like Mr. Gu. That's also Lu's good fortune. When you have a chance, come be a guest in my Dragon City." Gu Lingtong's heart ached slightly, and he laughed. "Ha, definitely." Pingjiang Police Station. Lu Feng descended from the sky, expressionless. "Tang Zheng, playing a game of cat and mouse with me." He did not dwell on these thoughts and went to his office. Duan Lingyu said, "Director Lu Chenju, and Gu Lingtong led a team to successfully exterminate Jiang Zixu. Lu Chenju also brought back a Black Knight, suspected of being an accomplice of Tang Zheng." Lu Feng's eyebrows raised as he said, "I'll go take a look." Shortly after, a police car drove into the compound. As Lu Chenju got out of the car, he saw Lu Feng's towering figure. "Director Lu, mission accomplished without disgrace." Lu Feng said, "Hard work from both of you. The bounty and Vajra points will automatically be credited to your accounts tomorrow. I heard you brought back a living Black Knight. I want to interrogate this person." Lu Chenju dragged an old man, barely alive, out of the car. "This is him, suspected of practicing dark arts." Lu Feng grabbed Xia Xiaodo and asked, "Where is Tang Zheng?" Xia Xiaodo replied weakly, I don't know Tang Zheng. Why are you arresting me?" Lu Feng's gaze narrowed, as a terrifying grandmaster aura twisted into invisible chains, binding Xia Xiaodo and lifting him into the air. Behind Lu Feng, a vast hellish panorama suddenly appeared over the police station, filled with bones upon bones, a mountain of blades, a sea of fire with an evil tiger at the center of it all. Lu Chenju's expression was shocked as he muttered, "This is Grandmaster intent." On the path of Chi Po, reaching Grandmaster allows for the birth of Grandmaster aura. If one's fifth theory also touches the fifth realm, comprehend its intent, one can further comprehend martial arts will. Martial arts will is the concentrated manifestation of a martial artist's essence, spirit, and intent. It's an even more advanced and powerful technique than externalized aura, able to manifest within the external environment in a single thought, reflecting one's martial arts' internal realm throughout the outside world. Within the range of martial arts will, unbeatable I stand with enemies falling to the nation. Those who are not grandmasters caught in martial arts will, with an error, may find their martial hearts collapse. When grandmaster intents collide, they can create unbelievable wonders and phenomena, akin to immortals battling, hence the old term, land immortals. Under the dimensional strike of grandmaster intent, Zia Zayadao's will, inferior to Lu Chenju's, was instantly shattered. His eyes bleeding tears, he prostrated on the ground, saying, "Don't kill me, I really don't know where Tang Zheng is." "How do you contact each other?" "It's always Tang Zheng's people coming to me. Tang Zheng is elusive as a ghost, and he set a blood demon mark on us. As long as it's not more than 100 miles, he can sense our chi mechanism. I was forced to learn the dark arts." Chapter 321, 218 Spiritual Vessel, 4K request for double monthly tickets, /2. Do you have a base in Sioux City? No, only when discussing important matters will Tang Zheng summon us. The meeting place is completely random. However, I know a few locations where my carefree travel comrades frequently lurk, but they often switch places, so I'm not sure if they're still there. The pressure from Lu Feng made Zia Zayada feel as though he was undergoing judgment by a judge, spilling all the information he controlled truthfully. Suddenly, Zia Zayada's pores opened wide, and from within, a vague sound of a demon dragon roaring could be heard. Zia Zayada's face drastically changed. "Save me." Bang! His blood reversed flow and spurted out from his orifices, his chi blood blazing wildly, his muscles and bones trembling as if they were about to explode. Subsequently, all the blood converged into a sinister demon dragon, lunging at Lu Chenju not far away. Before it could get close, it was grasped by the large hand of Lu Feng, the crushing weight of a grandmaster's true gang pressing down and pulverizing it. With a poof, the demon dragon exploded, dissipating into a cloud of blood mist. Gu Lintang's face changed as he said, "Director Lu, is this Tang Zheng manipulating from behind?" Lu Feng said, "Yes, that's why I didn't have time to go to the interrogation room and had to question this person on the spot. The devouring heaven demon skill may be demonic in nature, but the astonishing wit of its creator endowed it with many unimaginable methods, even affecting many righteous divine skills. Tang Zheng seems to be generously spreading his demon skill among his subordinates when in reality he's using these people as cauldrons, seeding them with demon hearts. For every wisp of chi blood they absorb, Tang Zheng benefits a bit. The more people who learn it, the faster he advances. Moreover, the blood demon mark is actually a trace of a grandmaster's chi blood he left inside his subordinates. Once he senses something amiss with them, he can activate this trace of chi blood. In doing so, he can eliminate them to cover his tracks to prevent leaking any information. He has come all this way to Dazia, aiming to leverage the martial arts foundation here to have more martial artists learn his demon skill, delusively seeking to further advance on the demon path." Lu Chenju frowned and said, "Can such a method lead to a breakthrough beyond the great grandmaster level?" Lu Feng said, "Throughout history, only one person has succeeded, the founder of the demon skill himself, a demon path great grandmaster whose wisdom was on par with the founder of the dragon elephant heaven lifting technique, the sky-climbing Dharma King. But after he achieved it, he went completely mad. He had just broken through when he attacked Shaolin and was annihilated single-handedly by a Shaolin great grandmaster, dying a complete death." Gu Lingtang said, "If that's the case, once Tang Zheng goes completely mad, it will probably be easy to find his whereabouts. However, before that, I don't know how many people will be sacrificed." Lu Feng said coldly, "I won't let him become a great grandmaster, he wishes." After witnessing the means of the devouring heaven demon skill, Lu Chenju said, "I always feel this demon skill is somewhat similar to the methods of some cultists. Many evil gods utilize similar methods, quickly eliminating cultists when they're controlled by the authorities, cutting off the tail to survive, to prevent further losses." Lu Feng said, "The founder of the demon skill was also a leader of the old cults. In ancient times, demon skills and cults often went hand in hand. That person being able to create such a demon skill may have also been bewitched by an evil god, likely part of an evil god's scheme. Three evils do not distinguish between family." Lu Chenju handed over the collected evil artifacts and evil skills to Lu Feng. "These are Jiang Zixu's items, please accept them." Lu Feng took them and said, Good work, the two of you can go back. With his Grandmaster's perception, he knew that Lu Chenju still had a Void Realm map and a spiritual artifact, but since they were the spoils of a martial artist, he would not inquire. Throughout the ages, there have been many Void Realm maps circulating outside, but the vast majority have already been thoroughly explored by the Dazia officials, with little value. Outside of Sioux City, at a certain location. Inside a gloomy ancient tomb, a tall and thin figure searched for something. Moments later, he left with a dark expression, vanishing like a ghost. Where exactly did the Mad Dragon King hide the secret treasure before he went mad? Could it be hidden within the Void Realm? The Aziato is such a useless old fool, caught so quickly. Lu Feng, once my demon skill reaches great success, even if I have to die, I'll drag you down with me before I go mad. A lofty heaven-sent martial arts master, not content to practice quietly in isolation, pursuing the Tao, always meddling in these mundane matters, always so meddlesome. Typically, those with unrivaled talents hold idle positions at top martial universities, spending most of their time in cultivation, rarely taking government positions. Currently, the grandmasters in Dazia's various departments are mostly old grandmasters with no hope of making a breakthrough and wanting to do something. Thus, Tang Jing finds it hard to comprehend what Lu Feng is after. Dragon City Martial Arts University. Kingshan Kang Villa. Jai Chuantong fiddled with a string of black beads, murmuring, "Is this really a spiritual artifact? Feels quite ordinary, far inferior to our Dazia divine weapons. When I held the sunk ship Tiger Gall divine spear, I even had the illusion that I could take on 10 men single-handedly." Kingshan Kang said, "Spiritual artifacts are of many types, and this one was not created for combat to begin with. It was used by the spiritual practitioners of the Po Siu ancient country to facilitate meditation. We have no need for meditation, so naturally, you won't feel its subtleties. The only benefit it has for a martial artist is that if worn year-round, it can slightly enhance spiritual power while also protecting the mind." Lu Chenju said, "Grandmaster, is there any problem with this spiritual artifact? Can I carry it with me?" Kingshan Kang said, "Well, my cultivation is just so-so, I wouldn't dare make a hasty judgment. You had better ask Principal Wang for his opinion, and about that map of yours, ask him about that too. With your current strength, without an expert leading the way, the map will be useless. By the time you become a martial arts grandmaster, that map will probably be of little use." After thanking his master and grandmaster, Lu Chenju turned and left. Jai Chuantong showed a gratified expression. "Heh, it seems Chenju indeed places us first in his heart. Coming to us first with such matters speaks volumes." Kingshan Kang glanced at Old Jai. Old Jai shut his mouth and returned to the practice room. Wang Chaming handed the black bead string to Lu Chenju, saying, "There are no issues, feel free to use it." "Thank you, master. However, this is only a low-grade spiritual artifact. Its nurturing effect on spiritual power is quite minimal. Don't hold too high expectations. On the other hand, its protective effect on your spirit is not bad. Even against the aura assault of a martial arts master, relying on this spiritual artifact, you could resist somewhat, without being easily defeated. Disciple also has a map that seems to indicate the Void Realm. Please take a look, master." Wang Changaming took the map, glanced at it, and then handed it back to Lu Chenju. "This might be of some use to you. There's a mark of Tiger King Valley at the top right corner of the map. Your divine weapon is from Tiger King Valley too. Nevertheless, Tiger King Valley was just a third-tier power of the old era, with their strongest being just a martial arts master. The places they could have explored are unlikely to contain any great treasures. Just be mentally prepared." Wang Chaming's standards were too high. Lu Chenju put away the map and kept it close to his body. Wang Chaming said, "The map's confluence point entrance is near Changbai Mountain. When the time is right, I'll have either your third senior brother or your second senior sister take you for a trip. By the way, I can reveal to you, in some time, there may be a Void Realm trial task from the Martial Arts Department. But it's not in Changbai Mountain, it's in Tehu." Lu Chenju bowed. "Thank you, teacher." On his way back, his expression was solemn. The Void Realm. Finally, I must confront this colossal challenge. The next day. Ding, a text message notification came in. "Your account ending in 9527 has received a transfer of 5 million from Sioux City Police Judicial Assistance Funds. Current balance 48 million. Your Vajra group account has received 400 Vajra points. The 5 million bounty included 3 million from the cult incense master. That Zia was too weak, only worth 2 million. His fight with Lu Chenju was a complete crush. Firstly, Zia was just an ordinary martial artist, and secondly, he was aging. Before reaching Grandmaster, youth dominates, but after becoming a Grandmaster, the older one gets, the more devilish they become. What truly worried Lu Chenju was Jiang Zixu. He rolled up his pant leg. Yesterday's wound had already scabbed over. Martial artists heal quickly, and the cold evil qi had been forced out by his yang qi. Except for some pain, it was no big deal now. He looked at the martial arts tree. As long as I stack enough divine seeds, I won't be short of special methods. Damn it, keep grinding. Let's see if your demon is 1 zhang taller, or my Dao is 1 zhang higher. Chapter 322, 219 4th rank divine seed, 4K for double monthly tickets. Golden crow soars, Jade rabbit runs. Time hurries by, another month has passed. After the last mission of the Vajra group, Lu Chenju and Gu Lingtong became friendly, and Lu Feng naturally invited Gu Lingtong into the Vajra group. New members joined the cross-training martial arts. Most delighted was Wang Gang, who, after enrolling at Galaxy Martial University, advanced swiftly in his cultivation. Now at 8th rank, Lu Chenju was reassured by the fact that Wang Gang was taken as a disciple by Gu Lingtong's father, the cross-training master of the university Gu Shantong. Gu Shantong, titled Unbreakable Taoist, ranked 23 on the Earth list. This man, originating from the Taoist path, mastered Wudang hard Qigong. The cross-training martial arts that Gu Lingtong demonstrated was learned from him. Wang Gang having him as a master was a convergence of good timing, favorable location, and human harmony, which Lu Chenju believed would aid him greatly on his martial path. Nearly a year had passed since high school classmates enrolled, and the strongest among them was still Liu Huan, now a 9th rank expert. As the gap in strength with Lu Chenju widened, classmates naturally contacted him less, a common occurrence. When Lu Chenju went to Class 2 to visit 2 elder martial sisters, Liu Huan often lamented how swiftly time passed. After one recent gathering, the former class president expressed his sentiment. If we meet on our paths ahead, a simple friend encompasses vast changes. Lu Chenju found this quite profound. July 3rd. In the wee hours. By Stone Lake, Lu Chenju moved like the wind, his legs surrounded by a faint whirlwind, allowing him to move as if stepping on air, fast as lightning. When he sped up enough, Lu Chenju suddenly bent his legs and leaped, carrying a whirlwind filled with swirling leaves. When he jumped 3 meters high and began a free fall, Lu Chenju stepped on the whirlwind as if stepping on water, and the tension bounced him up. Buzz! With another leap, Lu Chenju forcefully rose another 3 meters, finally losing momentum at the height of a 6-story building. He wanted to repeat the trick but found that without stepping on solid ground, the wind generated was insufficient for leveraging. Crash! Lu Chenju's foot emitted a golden light as the innate power interacted with the ground, creating a rebound that allowed him to slightly jump and offset the impact from the fall. Wow, isn't this a double jump? In many games, double jumps were common. Yet, in reality, unless one was a martial artist with exceptional movement technique, it was hard to achieve. Walking on water is easy since the surface tension is strong, and stepping on tree branches is even simpler. But stepping on air for leverage is too difficult. Even for a martial arts grandmaster, it is impossible to step on air over long distances. That feat usually requires the cultivation of a great grandmaster. To completely defy planetary gravity, one must be a martial arts king. At that stage, flying no longer relies on movement techniques, but on powerful energy fields reversing the body's magnetic field, floating like magnetic levitation, traversing the heavens and the earth. After his excitement, Lu Chenju looked towards the martial arts tree. Gale Force Tiger Body, perfection can be integrated. Divine Seed Gale Tiger first rank, stored in the Yemen Acupoint. The Strong Wind and the Solitary Tiger Journey. Effect 1, Tiger Form first level. Effect 2, Tiger Skill first level. Effect 3, Wind Step, with the good wind using its strength to lift me to the blue clouds, allowing 1 airborne leverage movement. Interesting, this is impressive. Lu Chenju marveled, recognizing it as a truly divine combat skill. Why is it a taboo in combat and martial arts to jump high or leap? It's because trajectories in the air are predictable, making it easy for an expert to counter. But with this special effect, things would be different. Imagine, in a fight, when leaping into the air, feinting a move to mislead the opponent to an anticipated position, then back-jumping midair to fall behind and strike. Unpredictable. Second-rate martial arts can also produce decent extreme effects. Compared to previous ones like blazing and thunderclap, this wind step is far more practical. Considering Lu Chenju's current combat experiences, those two effects seem merely flashy with negligible damage to martial artists, typical for late-stage effects. Integrate. Integrate. Shortly after, the martial arts tree began to undergo dramatic changes, and Lu Chenju gained insight, suddenly starting to practice his punches. Starting with Black Tiger Fist, he executed third-rate fist techniques, followed by second-rate ones, and finally culminating in Tiger Spirit Divine Fist. His 4 years of martial arts insight since he began his training and his complete understanding of tiger form were all embodied in his fist techniques. After completing the sequence, Lu Chenju's eyes were clear, experiencing an epiphany much like when he broke through to become a martial artist half a year ago. His prowess in fist techniques became more rounded and mature, exuding the temperament of a true master. The martial arts tree trembled without stopping, rustling loudly. Inside the inner scenery land, winds were gusting and clouds swirling. In Lu Chenju's spiritual world, the sound of a tiger's roar resonated continuously. In a trance, his spirit spanned across eons and returned to that familiar mountain forest. On the clifftop, a black resting tiger arose, its glimmering tiger eyes observing Lu Chenju, stern on the outside yet kind inside like a venerable teacher. Roar! The mighty black tiger roared softly, watching Lu Chenju immersed in his world of fist techniques. It was the heavenly heart mark, the essence of countless forebears, tiger form intent. Thus it recognized that the descendant before it was rapidly evolving his understanding of fist theory. When he reached a critical point, Lu Chenju seemed blocked by an invisible barrier. Chapter 323, 219 4th-ranked Divine Seed, 4K for double monthly tickets, /2. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Lu Chenju, lost in his boxing, couldn't wait to break through to the 4th realm. Only in this way could he integrate and bring forth the true skill-level boxing technique. Otherwise, the divine seed would not be able to successfully merge. In his anxiety, a deep tiger roar awakened him. Lu Chenju looked at the black tiger as its form dissolved, like a drop of ink spreading through a water tank, the blackness diffusing to become an abstract black tiger painted by an artist, and then the black tiger transformed once more into a black-clad martial artist whose face could not be seen. The martial artist did not speak, but paid his respects to Lu Chenju with a slight fist-clasped salute. First salute, then fight. Swoosh! Before Lu Chenju could react, the black-clad martial artist turned into a stream of ink light, and a punch that seemed plain and unadorned but contained countless meanings and fist theories was hurled out. The ultimate path is simplicity, a punch as fierce as a tiger. Roar! Lu Chenju was sent flying backward, crashing and felling a large swath of mountain forest. His form became slightly faded but did not disperse. He looked at the black-clad martial artist who had suddenly gone on the offensive and laughed. Younger generation Lu Chenju, thanks all the predecessors. At that moment, he seemed to begin understanding why, after reaching the path, the heavenly destiny mystic tiger had those sentiments. Martial artists may die, but the will is immortal. Come on! Lu Chenju assumed the black tiger fist stance. The black-clad martial artist advanced with a shock step, using the black tiger fist as well to fight him. The two engaged in close-quarters battle, the fight incredibly fierce. The world was like a painting, with the two figures as people within it, battling as if splashing ink with broad strokes. Using the same perfection level of black tiger fist, Lu Chenju was constantly on the defensive. His comprehension of fist theory was too low, yet he was making rapid progress, bit by bit regaining his footing. After fighting with Black Tiger Fist, they fought with Tiger Supreme Fist. Here, time seemed to have no meaning. Their battle raged till the end of time, till the fundamental way wore thin. As they fought, Lu Chenju gained a new understanding. He began to transcend the framework and routines of learned martial arts and tried to express his own elements, incorporating these elements into his mastered tiger form routines as he attempted to innovate techniques. Finally, Lu Chenju unleashed all martial arts at his command, with Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist as the overarching structure. All learned tiger form fist and movement techniques, like row upon row of codes, underwent a mysterious arrangement and combination, merging like milk with water, with no barriers left between, becoming one. Crack. The world, like a mirror surface, filled with cracks before shattering apart. The invisible barrier that had restrained Lu Chenju's fist theory realm cracked thunderously at this moment. The illusory world, too, dissipated. Everything gone with the wind. Lu Chenju stood by the lake. The willow tree where he trained was now shrouded in a thick mist, all of which was the sweat he had evaporated. He checked the time. I've unknowingly practiced boxing for 6 hours. Alas, today's pile skill and inner strength cultivation will be somewhat delayed, but it's all worth it. The fourth realm of fist theory, understanding its principles, achieved. All ordinary tiger form martial arts, integrated. Fourth rank true skill achieved. Within the 38 acupoints that Lu Chenju had already opened, a long-lost surge of chi blood emerged. They raced joyfully and torrentially, like an outpour of rain after a long drought, thoroughly soaking his parched body through and through. Lu Chenju's momentum surged, his bones making continuous crackling sounds for a quarter of an hour as chi blood transformed his physical body. Half an hour later, Lu Chenju opened his eyes. His demeanor completely rejuvenated. With a leap, he stepped 10 yards away, skimming over the lake's surface like a startled swan or a roaming dragon, swiftly crossing Stone Lake to reach the other side and the chi blood measurement room. After performing a set of basic boxing, a voice came. Chi blood value 14 points, 1 point away from the middle realm. Lu Chenju's face lit up with joy. Having increased by more than 2 points of chi blood, this is unexpected. In the past, integrating ordinary martial arts didn't alter one's chi blood, because it fundamentally wasn't about creating martial arts. But this time, after reaching the fourth realm of fist theory, I've understood a deeper level of fist theory. The integrated fist techniques have also incorporated a bit of my own cultivation insights. Although it's not essential true skill, to some extent, it could be considered a martial art I've created myself. Thus, the integration resulted in an increase of chi blood. If it passes the uniqueness review at the Myriad Volume Pavilion, my creation, the Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist, can also be included in the collection and passed down to future generations. Lu Chenju was now not far from achieving the chi blood value needed for the middle realm, and with the additional acupoints and inner strength, he estimated it would take about 2 months to reach 15 points, half a year from the initial realm to the middle realm. His master had taken nearly 20 years to make this step. Of course, this was just Lu Chenju reaching the chi blood middle realm. To possess the full strength of the middle realm, he would still need to enhance his innate strength and open 60 acupoints. With this thought in mind, Lu Chenju looked towards the martial arts tree. Please name the new martial arts. Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist. Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Fist, Perfection. Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger Divine Seed, 4th rank, hidden in the Yancha acupoint. Heavenly Destiny Mystic Tiger, descends to birth in summer. Effect 1. Tiger Intelligence, 4th rank, enhances a certain degree of universal fist technique comprehension. Effect 2. Tiger Form, 4th rank, enhances a certain degree of Tiger Form fist technique comprehension. Effect 3. Tiger Skill, 4th rank, enhances a certain degree of Tiger Form body technique comprehension. Effect 5. Tiger Cave enhances a certain degree of acupoint condensing speed. Effect 10. Wind Step allows for movement borrowing force in midair twice. Lu Chenju studied the changes from this fusion and mused. Tiger Intelligence, Tiger Form, Tiger Skill, Tiger Cave, Mountain Occupying, Mystic Tiger Spirit, all the adjectives describing the effects of the martial arts tree now have become a certain degree, reaching the standard of the 4th rank. The quantity of tiger shadows from Mountain Ghost has changed from 6 to 12. The temperature of the chi flow from blazing has increased from 200 degrees to 500 degrees, and the instantaneous electric shock strength from thunderclap has increased from 500 volts to 1000 volts, finally surpassing the electric eels in the rainforest. All in all effects have been significantly enhanced. Especially the 10th wind step, which allows force borrowing in midair twice, is a huge help in actual combat. Lu Chenju's mind has already imagined several uses. Lu Chenju's right arm muscles swelled, chi blood rapidly rubbed and circulated, releasing the super high temperature chi flow in an instant, before pressing a palm on a willow tree. Wisps of green smoke curled up. The willow tree, though not ignited, had its bark turned into a layer of char, which fell off lightly with a gentle blow. The power was indeed intimidating. 500 degrees, roughly equivalent to the flame temperature of a lighter. The temperature is not low, but the damage is minimal because it belongs to an instant high temperature, which cools down quickly and is unable to cause sustained damage. Otherwise, it would be no different from fire spitting. Lu Chenju remembered that Chen Zhen's practiced martial arts seemed to specialize in manipulating high temperatures, with every battle reddening his face, and his high-temperature palms able to burn ordinary martial artists to death. In summary, this progression. All special effects could preliminarily play a role in real battles with martial artists. In a thought, Lu Chenju mobilized all his innate strength, and the golden tiger leaped up from the Qi Sea, turning into countless golden light points rushing out along the Qi blood on his body surface. In a flash, Lu Chenju's left and right arms, as well as his face, were covered with a layer of golden fluorescence. The innate strength has grown a lot. Before this, I could at most cover my hands. I was never able to easily cover both arms and the head. Lu Chenju returned home and lashed out at the alloy wood pile with punches and kicks. See, one alloy was pounded into punch holes like soft clay, clearly unable to withstand it. The wooden dummy should switch to C2 alloy. When I can control C9 alloy, I will no longer need the advantage of the Mountain Lord. Only a divine weapon can assist my martial arts path. But with the rate of human technological and material science advancement, the emergence of C10 alloy should be a matter of within 10 years. Time flies a month later. In the medical room. Chenju, you came to buy great medicine again. Have you finished the ones from before? The elder lifted his head, looked at Lu Chenju, and his expression shifted. Wait, are you about to reach the middle realm? The elder was at the peak of the middle realm in his prime, and as his chi blood declined, he reverted to the initial realm. He was incredibly eager to return to his peak and was very sensitive to chi blood. Lu Chenju smiled and said, Not yet, senior, I'll take 20 this time. After reaching the 4th rank of divine seed, combined with great medicine, his acupoint opening speed increased once again, and there was no problem with opening 3 acupoints in a month, especially since he had recently reduced 1 hour of pile skill time to practice other martial arts cultivation. His initial conservative estimate was proven wrong. With the continuous transformation of the divine seed, who needs 5 years to become a martial arts master. Today, 12,000 words, seeking double monthly tickets, Old Tian has been saving up drafts recently, striving to give everyone a small burst during the National Day holiday.